Welcome to the episode of Locked In. This video is going to be going over my review of the BLB Classic Wheelset. Was it great? Was it crap? Let's find out. So in this video, we're going to be going over specs, features, I say that loosely because it's a wheelset, price, and my final thoughts. So if you want to know why I decided to ride a silver wheelset, even though everybody buys all black everything, click on this card above to watch my fixed gear single speed bike build series to see why. But now let's get back into specs. These wheels feature all polished rims, spokes, and Novatech hubs, and stock they come with actually a tube, a tire, cog, lock ring, and a freewheel. Now, as I've stated in one of my build videos prior, I'm not a big fan of the tires that came with the bike. It came with kind of a crappy Kenda front tire and a 25C WTB thick slick in the rear. Now, in the past, I've ridden thick slicks. I'm not a huge fan of them when they're wet because they slide out, but they are basically one of the thickest tires you can have. So if you're a brakeless, fixie, skid, masher, epic downhiller, this tire is going to last you probably the longest of anything else you've probably ridden. It comes with a 15-tooth cog and a 16-tooth freewheel, which is pretty common for most wheel sets, and some pretty nice, buttery Novatech hubs. They're going to have 24 spokes in the front, 32 in the rear, so you lighten up that front end and give you an ultra stiff rear, 4 beaten on it in the city, supposedly. Now, these wheels aren't particularly wide like most modern wheel sets, but they're wide enough for most guys running anything from a 23 to a 28, obviously depending on your frame clearance. And I have actually ridden 32C tires on these. They did bulge out quite a bit, but they felt fine. But I really wouldn't push it much fatter than that. Now, the wheel weights on their website actually list all the components on there, so I don't actually know the bare wheel set weight, but they are on the heavier side, to be honest. But at this price point, they're pretty competitive. And you can check all the specs in the links below. Now on to features. I say this loosely because it is a wheel set. The main feature is it is a flip-flop rear hub, and the hubs have sealed bearings, so you don't have to worry about adjusting them constantly like a lower end wheel set. Now, as far as pricing, I think these wheel sets are actually sold out last time I checked, so I'm going to link them in the link below, but they might be out or they might be back in stock. So I actually don't know what the current pricing is because I don't remember exactly what I paid for them. Lastly, on to my final thoughts. These have been the most troubling wheel sets I have ever owned. I have literally had to true them at least 4 times that I can remember. And there are some times where I had them trued, literally rode them on my commute, which is roughly about 12 miles. And they were so out of whack, I literally had to pull the brake completely open on my bike to get it to work because it was rubbing so badly on the brake. I'll have some footage. You can see this in the work stand. And these are on multiple occasions. This is not just one time in multiple different angles, mind you. Originally, the spoke tension was really soft. I had them retrued professionally at a bike shop. Had them then again retrued about a week or so later, where the mechanic soaked them in lubricant because he noticed that they weren't actually built with spoke prep, which basically means that you can tension these spokes really tight where you feel like you're gonna break them, but they loosen up on you because these wheels are not built with spoke prep. He pulled one of the nipples off and it was completely dry. There was no signs of any of that. Also, there was no signs of grease on the cog, the lock ring, or the freewheel when I pulled them apart, because I did eventually change the gear ratio. Now, after that last soaking in lubricant, I rode them for a little while, figuring they would settle in a little bit. They definitely got more out of shape than I expected. I had them trued finally, and I've ridden them since. I probably put about 30 or 40 miles at this moment in this time period in life at this video review, and they've gotten a little bit out of true, but they're definitely still tolerable at this point. But to be honest, I'm really unhappy. I have spent way more money just trying to fix these that doesn't make them worth it for the price. And at this point, I'm gonna have to build a wheel set because nothing really is out there that offers a classic look like this that I really want for my, again, single speed fixed gear build. So I'm gonna be looking elsewhere. I thought I got a steal. I thought they were gonna ride great. They look really good. The only thing I can say that's great about them, because I won't leave this review 100% negative, is the hubs. The hubs feel great. They're super smooth. That's the only thing that hasn't really gone wrong on me. The only little thing is there's a little washer that's attached to the red part of the end cap on the rear hub that did come off that I just put a little tack of super glue on. That stuff happens, so I'm not really knocking them for that. It should be on there a little better in my opinion, but it's held with a super glue. I'm debating on rebuilding them with the same hubs because they haven't done me wrong and I can save some money doing that. So we'll see, I guess. Usually I leave my videos on a super good note, but to be honest, these have been such a pain in the butt that I can't really suggest them. If you were to get them, I would definitely have them rebuilt completely with new spokes. I don't know if it's the spokes or the spoke prep or both that's causing this issue for them to go out of true, but to be honest, if I was going to just rebuild them as is, I probably would build them with new spokes, new nipples, and have them spoke prepped and built professionally. and then you probably wouldn't have much issue with them. So if you have a set or can get them really, really cheap, factor it into the price, because that's just the experience I've had with me. Had one other commenter that said they've had no problems, but I don't know how hard they ride on them and all those kind of things, because obviously it's gonna vary a little bit, but I got a bunk set, so there it is. So I hope you like this video. Please make sure to subscribe, turn notifications on so you don't miss my weekly content, as well as follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Also, if you become one of my Patreons, you do get entered into my monthly giveaway, as well as other awesome bonus features depending on what Patreon level you want to subscribe to. So thanks for watching this episode of Locked In.
Let's get